Great.
Well, thank you for having me here. Yeah, well, and as being a former county auditor down in Vanderbilt County for 8 years, I often felt removed from the state, and they would send information, but a state auditor never came and visited during that period of time. And so, having been a former local official, I just think it's extremely important that we have a good working relationship, that you know who I am, I know who you are, and if you have problems or issues, if you have challenges, that you're comfortable reaching out to us, because your taxpayers are my taxpayers, and we're here to serve them. And so the better information, the more accurate information I can get for you, and get it to you in a timely manner and deliver good services, the better you are just able to serve your taxpayers. So we're in it together. Yes. And you know, I always say that the more transparent we are, the more accountable we are. And the more people know about their government, the better the government's going to perform. So it's extremely important that we deliver good information so that you're able to deliver good services to your county. So I'm going around all over the state to all 92 county auditors, and I just, so tell me what can I do? I mean, how can we, you know, we have a new settlement department.
And I gotta tell you, I have been very pleased.
Good.
I love Fred. He has been so helpful with me, and the questions that I called and asked him, he sent a couple emails and asked me to respond back or send back to him what we received. And I feel like we've had a really good rapport. Joe, that works in the office, he helped me out with our abstract, and I greatly appreciated that. Everybody I've spoke to there has just been very helpful, and I know that they're a new staff, doesn't have the experience that was there before, but I see them as doing well, and very pleased.
And one of the things that they want to do is to have more webinar training.
And I think that would be spectacular.
Because it's not always convenient for you to jump in your car and drive up to Indianapolis. Plus, there's a cost to the taxpayer for you to do that. So we want to utilize the tool more and more. And you know, one of the things that, I don't know, I'm sure you're aware that we have a transparency portal in the state. In fact, you have information through DLGF that is actually linked to that portal. And it is a portal where we have all the financial information, or a lot of the financial information about the state of Indiana. So we have revenue information, we have budget information, we have all the expenditures for the state of Indiana on there, we have our fixed assets on there, salaries of employees are on there, so that the public knows not only how the government is spending their money, but what they're spending it on. And you, as a local county, have information out there for your taxpayer too. That portal was ranked #1 last year in the country out of all 50 states for its comprehensiveness and user-friendliness. And so, as I said before, the more transparent we are, the more accountable we are, and the better we're able to serve the taxpayer. And it's extremely important that the taxpayer knows about how their tax dollars are being spent. So we want to continue to put information out there for the taxpayer and to be able to provide you with accurate and timely information.
So how would the taxpayer know what web address to continue
Well,
to do that?
that's absolutely correct. They go to the IN.GOV /ITP for Indiana Transparency Portal. And what we have found is last year we had right under 80,000 people visit that site, and they visited 163,000 different pages. But 88% of that was people looking at salaries of employees. And those probably were employees.
That could be.
So what our challenge is how to make that information more available to the public, to alert them that that is out there, because I suspect that they don't, out of 6 million, over 6 million Hoosiers, we should have more than 83,000 actual hits. So, you know, to the extent that you know it, and then you can share that information with taxpayers, I think it'll just help overall. So, and like I said, you've got your local information on there too, and taxpayers from Clay County can go
in and just type in and see Clay County's.
They can see Clay County's information, yeah. So tell me, what are your largest, biggest challenges here in the office?
I think working here, I was in the office for 11 and a half years as a payroll deputy and just regular deputy. And then stepping up into a different role, having some of the same people here, it's awkward for me to feel like now I'm their boss when I was their coworker, their friend before. But you know, I feel like we've all, you know, I've sat down and talked with each one of them on, you know, what are your likes, what are your dislikes of what you do, what do you think we can change in the office to make it, you know, run smoother, run better. We've tweaked a few things this year, and I do think that it's been for the positive. It's made the office run a little bit, you know, more streamlined. I had to hire a new person, and so that was fun. I hired our part-time person and put her in my position. So for my first 2 months, it was I was the auditor, learning how to do that job. I was still the payroll person because I was training her, and then all the challenges that walk through the door, the taxpayers have questions or the different things. So I kind of felt like I was doing 3 jobs there for a little while. We do have cross-training here. My first deputy, Patty, she used to be in the claims. Now she's here, so you know, she can do claims. She can do everything relating to claims. And then she was also the backup for payroll when I did payroll. And so there's myself and her and Dina that will be payroll fluent. And then Erica is the first deputy. Now she's my claims deputy, so she knows how to do, you know, both of those jobs. I used to be the backup for transferring the deeds when Connie wasn't here, so Erica also knows how to do that. So she's being able to have that cross training. My goal is to, and I know everybody says it, but you know, to be a working auditor, and I want to be able to do every function in this office. So if someone's out sick or God forbid something happened, you know, and they had to, you know, kid was ill or something happened, they were going to miss some time, that I could step in and fill in that place while they're not here, so that there is, you know, the flow to the office continues.
And you know, that's extremely important because as the Chief Financial Officer of Clay County, you know, you are responsible for paying the employees, you're responsible for paying the bills, you know, you work with tax distributions, make sure they get to the proper budgets. And I always say, if you would shut down, government would cease. And so I think the cross-training is just a real positive.
Yes, and you know, due to some of the other not so good things that have been going on with some of the auditors in the county, we also have a double check system in play, where when the payroll is processed, 2 of us proofread it before she actually finalizes. And then when the claims are done, 2 different, you know, like Erica does the claims, so then Patty and I would proofread them, or you know, 2 of us in the office would proofread them, so that she's not involved in that. So if there's any kind of discrepancies or something doesn't look right, we can catch it before the checks are printed. So you know, and it's we have, you know, less mistakes, and we're catching things on a much faster.
Now, what about your relationship with the county commissioners and the county council? Are you actually their secretary for all things? Because in some counties, the auditor does everything for the commissioners and council.
You know, I've been very fortunate. I have 3 wonderful commissioners who have been very supportive to me throughout my campaign, as well as in the office. And they come to me, and I told them right up front, I said, the only thing I ask, don't put me on the spot in a meeting. You know, I said, you know, the previous auditor, you know, she had 20-some years experience where I don't have that. And I said, you know, if there's something that comes up that I'm not sure of, I will not be quick to give you an answer if I'm not 100% certain. And it will be, I need a few minutes to make a phone call. I need to confirm with State Board of Accounts or DLGF or the auditor's office. I need someone, you know, to make sure I'm thinking correctly.
And that's critical, because they're depending on you for the correct financial information.
So they've been outstanding. They've tried to give me information. I get emails a lot from them saying, you know, at our next meeting, you know, one will say, I think we have this topic on the agenda, you know, are you aware of what all we're doing? Or, you know, they'll send me a packet that says, you know, this is what we're looking at doing for the highway garage. You know, the attorney is the one that's going to be, you know, taking care of this, but we wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to, you know, peruse it before the meeting. So if you've got questions, you know, you can get with the attorney beforehand, make sure we're doing everything above board and, you know, honest and accurate. And that has been my goal. And I have a really good council too. They've been very helpful. We were jokingly, when they were nominating this year for president and vice president, and they were kind of ranging where they were going to sit. And I said, well, I don't care how you all sit, but I'd like somebody who has a lot of experience and knowledge to sit here beside me. So the gentleman, that was the vice president is not this year, so he sits beside me because he's been on the council for, I'm going to say at least 12, if not maybe 14. You know, he's been on there several years.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of experience, so then I can kind of say, what did they just do? You know, I'm not 100% sure, or, you know, I have a question. But, you know, he's been very beneficial to me.
I can't tell you how important it is to have good working relationships with your fellow
Yes.
office holders, because unfortunately, some counties don't.
That's
And
true.
government doesn't work very well.
Yeah. Now, we are very blessed here in the county that we all get along well. When the different elected officials come into a council meeting to talk about additionals or an amended salary ordinance or, you know, anything that they need to, I feel like they have a very open relationship. You can just tell that they're just able to, the council genuinely cares about what they're there for. And they commend our other elected officials that they come to the meeting. They don't just send somebody or just assume, I'm going to explain it for them. You know, and I appreciate that very much, that they take the time out of their schedules to come in and speak, you know, for themselves.
Do you know one thing, I'm going to post our picture on Facebook, but one thing I always like to do, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but when I'm in a county, I always ask, what is Clay County known for? What do you think of when you think of Clay County? And it's interesting because different counties, in Posey County, they said they're watermelons. Posey County watermelons.
Oh, goodness. For me, it's our kids and our schools. I have always had a heart for kids. That will never change. And I am so proud of our 2 schools and the commitment that the parents have to the kids, and that they are so supportive. At anything that you go to with our, you know, schools, you see support like you would not believe. I mean, the kids, all the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and I just always think, you know, what a great small community that is, you know, that all those people come out to support and are there for you.
So Clay
close
County
knit.
is known for, it's a family-friendly county.
Definitely.
And is
Yes.
agriculture the main source of revenue for?
I would say we have a lot of agricultural here, but we also have Great Dane trailers. And that really, I was trying to think how many employees we do have out there. I should know this because my husband works there. But I know
That's
that
a large
that is our,
employer.
we have Great Dane. Now PDF isn't as large as Great Dane, but they also have they're opened here. You know, it's a Brazil-based company, and they have grown by leaps and bounds. We have Brit Tool. So we have several factories in the area, and they support our community.
And so the challenges that you have are the same as the challenges that all county auditors have, and that is being able to predict the revenue accurately, estimate the revenue accurately, which you depend on us to provide you with good information. And I said, you know, I'm a former county auditor, former county commissioner, former state representative, and now state auditor, and I can say that the most stressful job I had was county auditor. Because I knew everybody depended on me. I knew that if I made a mistake, it would have far-reaching effects. So to the extent that I can be supportive and make it a less stressful job for you,
Yes,
I want to be there.